3. Property was cited in reference to NFPA 1, 19.1.2. Combustible waste material has accumulated in a manner that creates a fire hazard to life or property. And NFPA 101, 43.7.2. There's been a change of use that requires a permit. Storage use is now for industrial. These are T-hangers located on the property owned by the City of Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. And the leaseholder, then, we do have, I guess, a representative from. He's property management or
Yes, I'm the general manager with Lynx FBO.
general manager. They hold the lease agreement with the City of Fort Lauderdale by the business name of Lynx Aviation. I have spoken directly with who their sublease is with on this tenant space. The gentleman is willing to put the property into compliance. He understands that this has been an ongoing thing for years. He has taken all the flammable liquids out of the hangar itself. And quite frankly, this one location was being utilized for helicopter repairs for his business that was in there. We're willing to work with them. This problem has been around, I think, for a number of years. And we do have, like I said, a new leaseholder with the City of Fort Lauderdale on the property over here, and they're willing to work with us on it. So let's hear from them, find out what kind of time frame they'll need. I would imagine that they'll be enforcing this through their lease agreement with their tenant, and the city will be enforcing it through their lease agreement with the leaseholder.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Yes, my name is Tom Rao, and I am the general manager at Lynx FBO Network out at Fort
All
Lauderdale.
right, you've been working with Mr. Kasarowicz and apparently begun some cleanup. So let's talk about a time frame to give you a reasonable amount of time to complete the project.
Okay, if I may, we sent out, when we were first notified of the violations, we sent the tenant a certified letter, emailed the letter, and also spoke with him. And basically, that was on August 23rd. We stated that they needed to comply with the findings, and that if they did not comply by September 1, that we would proceed with all actions that we could under the lease agreement. That lease agreement would state that by September 23rd, that they would need to be in compliance, or they would be in default of their lease. So basically, I think as long as we can follow the lease requirements in whatever given time that takes, that they will be given a default on September 23rd of the lease.
All right, so they did not get it all cleaned up by September 1st?
No, they didn't. But they have stated that they would like to get it cleaned up as soon as possible. So any time that we could give, if you could give.
All right. Okay, Mr. Kasarowicz, what do you recommend?
Hearing that they're going to have to possibly, if their tenant doesn't comply willingly, enforce this through their lease agreement and file for evictions, I'll go ahead and support 56 days on it in order to come into compliance, and that way it'll give them till the September 23rd, and then to have time to go ahead and move forward with legal proceedings at that point.
Okay, 56 days or
$100 a day thereafter.
100?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I'm going to find the violations do exist. 56 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter. Thank you for being on top of things.
Thank you.
We have another case on page 2, case number FC 210-80005, case address 5950 Northwest 28th Way, number C6, owner City of Fort Lauderdale, in care of the Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. Personal service was given to this property on 8/3/21 and posted at City Hall on 8/31/21.
Okay. I got it. It's still on
And
the-
Captain Robert Kasarowicz with Fort Lauderdale Fire Marshal's Office for case number FC 210-80005 with a property address of 5950 Northwest 28th Way, Unit C-6. Property was cited in reference to NFPA 101, 43.7.2. There's been a change of use that requires a permit. The hangars are used for storage are now being used for industrial. Again, this is the same situation that we have going on. If you look at the photographs, you can see that we have aircraft that are under complete repairs. including sheet metal repairs, electrical wiring, and there's photographs of this activity currently taking place during the daytime use.
All right, again, just state your name for the record, please.
Tom Rao.
Okay, this is a different hangar?
Yes, it's a
All right,
T
what's-
hanger. This
What's the
same,
story here?
same thing. They were given the letter on August 23rd, told they needed to comply by September 1st, and that they were in violation, and we will proceed with
All right,
under the lease agreement.
Sarwich.
And we'll support again 56 days or $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, 56 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
The next case also on page 2, case number FC 210800006, case address 6000 Northwest 28th Way, number D2, owner City of Fort Lauderdale and care of the Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. Personal service was given to this property on 8/30/21 and posted at City Hall on 8/31/21.
And Captain Robert Gustavo here to present case number FC 210800006 for the property address of 6000 Northwest 28th Way, Unit D-2. Property was cited in reference to NFPA 101 43.7.2. There's been a change of use that requires a permit. Storage use is now being used for industrial, and NFPA 1 13.6.4.3.2.1. The fire extinguishers have not been serviced or tagged by a certified person or company within the past 12 months. Same situation on this case. Photographs included for the court, and we'll support the 56 days or $100 a day thereafter to say consecutive.
All right, is that acceptable, Mr. Brown?
Mr. Rao, yes, it is.
Okay, and so I find that each violation does exist, 56 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Our next case on page 2, case number FC 210700003, case address 60. Nope. That's not them. Sorry. The next case is on page 3, case number FC 210800003, case address 6030 Northwest 28th Way, number E3, owner City of Fort Lauderdale.
And Captain Robert Gustavo for case FC 210800003, property address 6030 Northwest 28th Way, Unit E-3. Property is cited in reference to NFPA 101 43.7.2. There's been a change of use that requires a permit. Storage use now for industrial, and NFPA 1 13.6.4.3.2.1. The fire extinguishers have not been serviced or tagged by a certified person or company within the past 12 months. We'll go ahead and support the same time frame of the 56 days and $100 a day thereafter.
All right, Mr. Brown, that acceptable?
Yes, it is.
All right, I find that each violation does exist, 56 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 18. Inspector Lois Tarotsky. Supervisor Julio Davila presenting. Case number CE 210-60282. Case address 1708 Northwest 8th Place. Owner Peaceful Zion Missionary Baptist Church of Fort Lauderdale, Inc. Property posted 8/18/21, posted at 8/31/20, posted 8/31/21 at City Hall.
Good morning, Julio
It's-
Davila,
Is there a respondent for 1708 Northwest 8th Place?
Code Compliance Supervisor. He spoke with me earlier and stepped away. We're gonna, we agreed on an order, but I can read that. I mean, I can move forward now or do it later. Now? Okay.
I'm sorry.
So, Julio Davila, Code Compliance Supervisor for the City of Fort Lauderdale, on behalf of Code Compliance Officer Lois Tarotsky.
All right, and I'm sorry, repeat the agreement, please.
So, we agreed on 63 days or fine of $50 per day for this case.
I'm sorry, could you, I'm not able to hear what you're saying.
We agreed on 63 days for compliance or a fine of $50 per day
Okay,
thereafter.
okay. Now, I find that each violation does exist, and I approve the agreement as stated on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Our next case is on page 20.
20? Page.
Our next case is on page 27. Senior Inspector Wilson Quintero. Case number CE 21030991. Case address 1009 Mango Isle. Owner Bradford Smith. This case was first heard on 6/8/21 to comply by 6/22/21. Two sections complied at $25 per day. $1,850 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Senior Inspector Quintero, Senior, number 269, on behalf of the city, presenting case number CE 21050734 for the address located at 349 East Dayton Circle.
That's,
Senior Inspector, we're on the bottom of page 27.
27, the top one, yeah.
No, the bottom one.
The bottom one is-
1009 Mango Isle.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Your Honor. Senior Inspector Quintero, Senior, number 269, on behalf of the city, case number CE 21030991 for the address located at 1009 Mango Isle. This case first came to a special magistrate on 5/27/2021, where evidence was presented and the magistrate Flynn filed for the city. These violations were first cited on 3/31/2021 and 9/25 by this inspector. A total of 10 re-inspections was made on the property. There was a conversation by phone with the property owner. During this conversation, the status of the violation and the corrective action was discussed. The case is in compliance and is the position that the fines being imposed as read, Your Honor.
okay, city's requesting imposition of the full fine.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Yes, my name is Bradford Smith, and I own the house at 1009 Mango Isle. Through the month of June, I was in Tajikistan, Dushanbe, Tajikistan. I hired a company called TJZ Landscaping. They mowed the yard the first week of July. On the August 9th, because each time he mowed it, he sent me a text message that he was mowing the yard. So I contest the date that it was in compliance. And prior to that period, I had had COVID that had ran through my family. So I was unable to take care of it myself. But I can show you the text messages on it if you want to look at it, or I don't agree with the date. He states.
I'm sorry, that is a text message between who?
The landscaper that I hired, TJZ, because I was out of the country through this time. I was in Dushanbe, Tajikistan, and he's texting me when he's mowing the property. He's showing me a picture he mowed the property, and I disagree with the date. They say I came in compliance. It was first mowed on, according to what he sent me, July 6th.
Okay, but then.
I wasn't here.
And you were out of the country.
Yes, sir.
But did somebody notify the city that you now believe you're in compliance so it can be re-inspected and cleared by the city?
Well, the city says that they inspected it on July 30th and said I was in compliance. I believe that's what it says.
Okay,
So I don't believe it's a time period of, you've already agreed that I'm in compliance. My issue is that the date he's saying I was in compliance.
Your Honor, every time we did a inspection of this property, I agree with him. It was cut, but it wasn't comply at all. The backyard was always overflowing. The grass was overreaching into the sidewalk and the street. You got the pictures in there. it wasn't according with the code guidelines. You know, he was caught, but he wasn't caught properly.
Okay, I apologize.
And I think I mentioned that to you in a phone call with you.
Yes, sir, and in text messages with the gentleman who was mowing my yard, I told him that he needed to weed eat the sidewalk, the edges.
He didn't do it.
I understand, but I think it was after we spoke that I told him. So you're telling me from July 3rd through the July 30th, it was never weed eated?
He wasn't compliant. The backyard was always overflowing. I got pictures before when I
have a
present
picture?
this case.
Do you have a picture on the 30th?
It was presented in the previous case when you didn't show up for the court.
I wasn't in the country, okay.
Yes, sir. Your Honor, the administration cost for this is $626, if you want to consider that. $626 is the admin cost.
All right. Okay, I'm going to impose a hard cost, $626. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Your Honor, how will I get information to pay it? Will I get?
You'll get a written order in the mail.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 39. Inspector Gustavo Caracas, case number CE 21030002. Case address 615 Southeast 7th Street. Owner L&M Commercial Properties. This case was first heard on 5/11/21 to comply by 6/15/21. Suspended 6/24/21 to 8/26/21. One section complied at $1,050, and the city is requesting full amount.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Caracas, on behalf of the city, case number C 21030002, located at 615 Southeast 7th Street. This case first became before the special master on May 11, 2021, where evidence was presented and found, and the magistrate found for the city. These violations were first cited on March 2nd of 2021, and a total of 7 re-inspections were made to the property, where there were conversations by phone and in person with the property owner. During these conversations, the status of the violations and corrective actions were discussed. I'm happy to say that we have compliance as of today. It is the position of the city that fines be imposed as read, but if the magistrate is inclined to give fines, we would like to point out that the administrative costs have been incurred by the city of $571, sir.
571.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name.
Yeah,
please.
my name is Larry Molina, Managing Director of L&M Commercial Properties, which owns the property in question.
All right, tell me why well, this is actually, it's in compliance now.
Yes, sir, it is.
So request for extension is moot.
Correct. I don't need an extension.
Okay,
Your Honor.
all right.
Now it's a matter of the penalties that are being charged to us.
Long fence there. Okay, I'm going to impose administrative cost, $571.
Fair enough, Judge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Gustavo.
Mr. Molina, thank you.
Our next case is on page 24. Inspector Sambert Bernstein, case number CE 19020850, case address 2775 Northwest 63rd Court. Owner Charleston Enterprises, LLC. This case was first heard on 8/1/19 to comply by 10/31/19. There are 4 suspensions notated on the agenda. One section complied at $100 per day, $24,200 accrued, and the city is requesting $1,427.
Good morning, Your Honor. Officer Bernstein, Sambert, City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number CE 19020850. Property address 2775 Northwest 63rd Court. This case first came before the special magistrate on August 1, 2019, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city. These violations were first cited in February 2019. A total of 22 inspections were made on the property. There were conversations by both both in person and with the property owner as well as the contractor. During this conversation, the status of violation were corrected. Case is in compliance. It is in the position of the city that the fines of administrative costs be imposed as read in the total of $1,427.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
My name is Ronald Coleto.
Do you understand what this gentleman said?
Yes.
Have any disagreement?
Yes.
All right, tell me what your disagreement is.
I just would like to request reduce that fine in half, and I'll be agree on.
Okay. All right.
I can tell you the reason.
Your fines accrued to $24,200. It's only requested administrative costs.
I agree with that. I 100% understand. The reason why I'm requesting in half, it is because the agreement was to finish the property. The building permit was issued after what, a year, 2 years after. Then we had COVID. A lot of time passed by that we couldn't do anything on the property. And when the agreement was in place was before COVID. And I could not make any adjustments or corrections on the property until I have a building permit. However, the time didn't stop. So that's why I'm actually citing in half, so requesting the administrative fees to be half of it. I understand we're going to 1,400. All I'm saying is I will agree with myself.
I'm sure that the city took all those things into consideration in waiving $24,200 in fines and requested administrative cost only, which is very reasonable. And I'm going to impose administrative costs, $1,427. Thank you, sir.
Our next case is on page 37. Senior Inspector Manny Garcia. Case number CE 2006-0750. Case address 3300 Southwest 17th Street. Owner Yacel Lopez Ramirez. This case was first heard on 1/12/21 to comply by 2/15/21. Suspended 6/8/21 to 6/29/21. One section complied at $100 per day. $13,200 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Senior Officer Garcia presenting case CE 2006-0750 in reference to the property 3300 Southwest 17th Street. This case was first heard on January 12, 2021, in which evidence was submitted and the magistrate found for the city. The Massey hearing was scheduled for June 8, 2021, in which an order to reappear on July 29th, 2021 was issued. On July 29th, 2021, the property owner failed to appear, which brings us to today's hearing to impose the fines that have accrued. I would like to bring up to the attention of the magistrate that the property owner, Mr. Yacel Lopez, has maintained contact throughout the entire time that this case has been going on, and also reached out to me at the beginning of August advising why he failed to appear at the hearing. Mr. Lopez further provided information regarding health conditions affecting him and his family relating to the pandemic, which caused the failure to appear. Mr. Lopez complied with all requirements issued by the city, obtained an after-the-fact permit for the tree that he removed, and also complied with the requirements from the landscape division by planting new trees on the property. At this time, it is the interest of the city to impose fines as read, but if the magistrate is inclined to reduce these fines, we'd like to point out that the administrative costs have been incurred by the city in the total of $884.
882?
884.
884, okay. All right, sir, who's going to speak on behalf of who's the owner?
He's the owner, sir.
All right, sir, if you'll step up to the microphone and state your name, please.
Yacel Lopez.
All right, what would you like to add to what this gentleman said? Oh, he doesn't speak English? He not speak English? No English, okay. Um,
My name's Javier Ortiz.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Gus, do you swear to truthfully translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, sir, if you'll have him step up to the microphone. Okay, and state his name.
Yacer López.
All right. According to the city, you're out of compliance 132 days. You want to explain why?
Le tomó 132 días para tener completa las ordenanzas. ¿Usted quiere explicar por qué le tomó tanto tiempo? Hable en el micrófono.
Sí, pero ¿cómo traduzco?
Yo lo voy a hacer, no se preocupe.
No, tardó la ordenanza porque el problema es que yo no tenía, perdí el trabajo, perdí todo con el COVID. ¿Sabes?
Basically, he didn't know what to do because he lost his job and due to COVID. That's why it took him a while. That is why it took him a while, because he lost his job and due to COVID as well.
Okay, all right.
Your Honor, Mr. Yassel also brought documents in regards to the money that he spent to planting the new trees and also a copy of the permit to submit, if you would like to take a look at it on behalf of the defendant.
Okay.
Would you like to see those, he's asking?
Yes. Paid the city of Fort Lauderdale $4,000. Landscaping Inc. Oh, okay. All right. This is good. Okay, he paid a landscaper $4,050. All right, I'm going to impose administrative cost $884. Thank you. Okay, administrative cost $884.
Costo administrativo de $884.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 28. Senior Inspector Wilson Quintero. Case number CE 19090635. Case address 1200 Southwest 31st Street. Owners Spencer and Razalavar Yee. Hegemon McDavid. I'm sorry.
Michael McDavid.
Sorry. Michael and Lee McDavid. This case was first heard on 2/6/2020 to comply by 3/12/2020. There are 4 suspensions notated on the agenda. 4 sections complied at $50 per day, $33,750 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Senior Inspector Quintero, Senior number 269 on behalf of the city. Case address CE 19090635 for the address located at 1200 Southwest 31st Street. This case first came to a special magistrate on this 2/6/2020, where evidence was presented and then you found for the city, Your Honor. These violations were first cited on 10/18/2019 by retired Inspector Sanguinetti. A total of 11 reinspection was made on the property. There were conversations by phone with the property owner. During this conversation, the status of the violation and the corrective action was discussed. The case is in compliance and is the position of the city that the fines being imposed as read, Your Honor.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Yes, Michael McDavid.
All right, and you're the owner of the property?
One of them.
You're one of the owners of the property. Tell me what happened here. You got multiple violations, and you were out of compliance 160 days on 3 of them, almost 200 days on the 4th one, and you got a substantial amount of fines
Yes,
accrued.
yes.
So tell me what happened.
So, well, what happened, well, first we've had a problem with, well, really the neighbor had a problem with us because this property has been vacant for a number of years. And so he started calling in on it and dumping stuff on the property. And I know this because I own the property behind it, and the person that lived in the house behind it was taking care of the property as far as picking up and cleaning up on the property. So we had decided the property was in such disrepair that it was time to take the property down. We started filing paperwork and getting a contractor in order to demolition the property. Because of COVID, it took a very long period of time. We obtained those permits, and after we obtained those permits, the house came down within either 15 to 20 days after getting the actual okay from the city of Fort Lauderdale.
All right. Okay.
But the process was very slow due to COVID and getting the approvals, and of course, as soon as we had one approval, they would tell us we needed something else.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Anything further from the city?
Yes, Your Honor, they got 174 days for extensions, and the permit took like 125 days to be submitted, to be issued. So the administration cost for this property is $921.
I'm sorry, $421.
$921.
421.
921.
9941. Okay. 92. Okay. Okay. All right, sir. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to impose a fine of $500 on each violation, okay? Total of $2,000.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I would like to state that, it cost us $28,000 to remove this building as well as landscaping, and we've hired a regular landscaper. I think those fines are really high, especially when the costs were $900 and some odd dollars.
Yeah.
I'm asking you to
But
please.
you got an extension at one time, a very substantial extension one time. Is that correct? Okay. I'm going to stand by my ruling. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there a possibility for appeal?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
You can take an appeal.
Okay, thank you.
Our next case is on page 4. Inspector Gustavo Caracas. Oh, he just walked out. Sorry. We'll recall that case. Our next case is on page 19. Senior Inspector Manny Garcia. Case number CE 21030122. Case address 1711 Southwest 38th Avenue. Owner James Chaffel. Property posted 8/30/21. Posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Your Honor, for the record, Senior Officer Garcia presenting case CE 21030122. in reference to the property 1711 Southwest 38th Avenue. This property was initially cited by Officer Feder on March 4th, 2021 for the following violations. 9-304B for vehicles and trailers parked on the grass lawn area. There's a gravel driveway on this occupied property that is not being maintained. There are areas of gravel on the driveway that has grass growing through it. 47-34.1.8.1. There is illegal land use occurring at this property. There is open air storage, including but not limited to the front and sides of this RS8 zoned residential multifamily low-rise medium density property. This is a non-permitted use as per section 47-5.11. 47-34.4.B.1 has been withdrawn. 9-278 parentheses E has been complied. 18-12A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on the property and on the swale. And 18-4C, there are derelict vehicles, trailers, and vessels on the property. As per the photos submitted as evidence depict, the property was found to remain in violation after an inspection was made on September 12, 2021. Due to the findings, the city is requesting 42 days to comply or a fine of $50 per day per violation thereafter.
Sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
James Chaffel.
All right, do you understand what the gentleman said?
Kinda, until he started rattling off numbers, but I'll clarify that with him later.
All
That's-
right.
That's moot point here.
Anything you'd like to add?
No, other than, one of the reasons it's taken so long is I've had health problems. I had 2 heart attacks in April, a day apart. I'm not supposed to be out in the heat, and I'm working on it. Things are getting done. They're not getting done super fast because when I had the heart attack, they pulled my professional licenses until further medical review. So not only is the health issues a problem, I'm also unemployed now until I prove that I can medically perform under my professional licenses. So that also presents an issue. I can't just go out and hire somebody to wave the magic wand and remedy the situation. It's only me. And having had 2 heart attacks, I'm not up to being out in 95-degree heat.
All right, I got you. I'm going to provide, I'm going to find that each violation does exist, allow you 21 days.
I thought he said 40.
42.
Your Honor, there was 42.
I thought he said 14.
No, I had done 42, but
42?
given the
Okay,
circumstances,
all right,
we'd like to push it to
got it.
63.
42 days, or $50 a day thereafter.
You say 63?
Yeah, Your Honor, originally the city was requesting 42, but given the circumstances of what the defendant has
63.
stated, would you
All right,
like to
go
push it to 63?
40 days,
All right.
$50 per day thereafter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 4. Inspector Gustavo Caracas, case number CE 210-60454. Case address 736 Northwest 2nd Avenue. Owner RH Investment Holdings LLC. Property posted 8/7/21. Posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Inspector Caracas for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance Inspector, presenting case number CE 2106-0454 for the property located at 736 Northwest 2nd Avenue. Inspection of the property was performed on June 17, 2021 by Officer Will Snyder and cited for the following violations. 9-276C3, there's evidence of termites and insects infestation at this property. 18-12A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and on its swale. 9-280B, there are building parts which are deteriorated and not maintained, including but not limited to interior walls, ceilings, and doors. 9-280G, there are electrical wires and accessories not maintained in a good, safe working condition, including but not limited to non-functional receptacles, outlets, and appliances. 9-280F, the plumbing at this property is in disrepair and not being maintained in a proper working order, including but not limited to the plumbing fixtures in the bathtub. Courtesy notice was issued hand-delivered to the tenant and also mailed to the property owner as listed on BCPA via first-class mail on June 17, 2021, allowing 30 days to come into compliance. Contact has been made with the tenant and also with the property representative. Special master notice mailed to the property owner on July 18 of 2021. Pre-hearing inspection was done on September 13 by Senior Inspector Colonian, and the pictures presented here were taken to confirm the following violations have not been brought into compliance. For the record, sir, we've been trying to reach the property representative as of yesterday, and nobody picked up the phone. The city's requesting the following: 14 days to come into compliance, or a daily fine of $50 for each of the violations that exist. Photo submitted into record for evidence, sir.
Okay. All right, ma'am, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Dana Koresh?
Okay, do you understand what this gentleman said?
Absolutely.
All right.
I've been in touch with him, and he knows that I have don't let us get in. So, and we're in eviction process.
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
I don't have any access to the unit. The tenant doesn't let us.
Well,
get
as
into
the owner,
unit.
you do.
How?
You own the property,
He
right?
does not let us in. He's in eviction process, and he knows that.
I'm sorry, say that.
There is an eviction process, Your Honor. She is going through an eviction process with the tenants at this time. So the tenants have not allowed the property owner or any representative to go into the unit itself.
And I really want to comply. He just doesn't let us get in. So I really, I don't know what to do. His lease is
Talk to a
ending.
lawyer. Okay.
I am in the process to try to get them out because we don't get money anyway. So I'm helpless, and he knows that. We went to back and forwards with email that I am trying to comply, and the owner also wants him out so we can be in compliance. So I'm just asking some more time so we can finish with the eviction process.
Your Honor, if I may, given the circumstances of the nature, the request, instead of 14 days, can we push it up to 35 days? If that's okay with you, Your Honor, given the circumstances that she's going through?
I'm sorry, push it up to
35 days, sir.
35?
And if not, a $50 fine for each of the violations that exist.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask for a little bit more extension because the tenant was very clear that he's not going to leave after his lease is finished. And I also want to be in compliance. There is, a lot to do. If I can get a little bit more time, that would be great.
It'll be at your discretion, Your Honor, your discretion.
Your Honor, if I could, for the record, Rana Montoya Hassan, the property manager is basically stating something a little bit different. That the tenant will not leave after his lease is expired.
Right.
That wouldn't be a relevant statement if they are currently in an eviction process. And as Your Honor has said, I'm sure that this corporate owner can consult with an attorney to figure out how to get into the unit and make the repairs. So I would suggest that Your Honor stick to the time frame that the inspector has given of the 30 days.
35.
35.
Okay, I find that each violation.
35 days.
Okay, I find that each violation does exist, 35 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next two cases are on page 32. Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne, case number CE 2010-1083, case address 2817 East Oakland Park Boulevard, owner ACS 2817 LLC. This case was first heard on 2/9/21 to comply by 3/15/21, suspended 6/8/21 to 6/23/21. One section complied at $50 per day, $4,100 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount. Additionally, on page 32, for the same case address and owner, for the same property address and owner, case number CE 20100750. This case was first heard on 2/9/21 to comply by 3/15/21, suspended 6/8/21 to 6/23/21. One section complied at $50 per day, $4,100 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
Good morning, Senior Inspector Cologne with the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number CE 20100750 and CE 20101083, both under the property of 2817 East Oakland Park Boulevard. This property was first heard on February 9th, 2021, and was given 35 days to comply. And then the magistrate gave an additional extension of 14 days at the hearing on June 8th, 2021. For the record, management has stayed in constant contact with me, and they kept me informed through the delay in process. Permits were pulled for the parking lot as well as the exterior?
Correct. No, the exterior.
No,
didn't
not
require-
the exterior.
Exterior didn't require.
Okay, just the parking lot. The case is in compliance, as the clerk read, and the city is asking for administrative costs only for a total of $847, and that's per each case. So it would be
Each case.
for each case, correct?
All right, sir. If you'll state your name for the record.
My name's Jordan Brown. I'm the property manager for 2817. Yeah, it's I mean, obviously as much a reduction as we can get. I mean, everything was pretty much out of our control with the building had to be painted before we started the parking lot because of the equipment and construction that's being gone around. That with the permit delays, we had weather issues. We had to paint on the weekends because it was an operating office building with very limited parking. So, I mean, we actively worked on everything throughout the whole
And I appreciate the fact that you did stay in touch with the officer. All right, I'm going to impose administrative cost of $847 on each case. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, and also I would like to enter the photos for the record.
Our next two cases are on page 31. Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne. Case number CE 21010622, case address 801 Northeast 62nd Street. Owner Firth Properties 899 Northeast 62nd LLC. This case was first heard on 6/8/21 to comply by 8/10/21. One section not complied at $50 per day. $1,700 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue. Additionally, on page 31, case number CE 21010627, case address 899 Northeast 62nd Street, owner Firth Properties 899 Northeast 62nd LLC. This case was first heard 6/8/21 to comply by 8/10/21. One section not complied at $50 per day, $1,700 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Good morning again, Senior Inspector Cologne for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number CE 21010622 and case number CE 21010627, both for the, 0622 is 801 Northeast 62nd Street, and 899 is for the case number 21010627. Basically, these properties were first heard on June 8th, 2021, and they were given 63 days to comply. And currently, as of September 13th, 2021, both cases are still in violation. I checked with permitting, and a permit was applied on July 1st, 2021. However, the plans failed, and they're awaiting corrections. So the city is requesting a full imposition of fines, which continues to accrue.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right in the microphone and state your name, please.
Yes, Your Honor. David Husky, McGee and Husky, PA, on behalf of Firth Properties. Your Honor, I would like to read into the record the email that I received from Assistant Director Portia Williams on September 9. She writes, "Good morning, Mr. Husky. The violations for the business tax for the valet service and trash and debris are complied. The violation for the parking lot remains out of compliance. On June 8, 2021, the magistrate ordered 63 days for compliance or $50 per day thereafter for the parking lot. The fines for the valet service were vacated at the June hearing, and the trash and debris did not go before the magistrate. At the September 14, 2021 hearing, you may request an extension for the parking lot to be brought into compliance." So it's my understanding that there are no fines that would have been appropriate for the trash or debris, that everything else is in compliance except for the issue with regard to the parking lot. As the inspector stated, we have applied for permits. We just recently found out that the reason that the permits have not been approved are that we're going to need a survey, a new survey. So we're in the process of doing that, but we've already hired a contractor. We'd like to ask for a 60-day extension to get this done.
Okay, you're requesting an extension of how much?
We'd like to get as much time as we can, 60 days at the least.
Your Honor, the city would just like to point out that the permit wasn't even applied for until July 1st, 2021.
All right, okay. I'm going to grant a 56-day extension and on each case and stay the fines as of this date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 10. Inspector Pat Gavin. Case number CE21070370. Case address 3540 Southwest 3rd Street. Owner, Kano Jamal Busby. Property posted 8/23/21. Posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Good morning, Your Honor. Pat Gavin, City of Fort Lauderdale, Code Compliance, presenting case CE 21070370 for property located at 3540 Southwest 3rd Street. This property was first inspected on August 23, 2021, and given time to correct for the following violations. 18-11A, the pool at this occupied property has dirty, stagnant water and is not being maintained on a regular basis. In this condition, it presents a health and safety issue for the community and that it may become a breeding ground for mosquitoes and is a public nuisance. 9-306 has been complied. This case was inspected at 9:50 a.m. on August 23rd, and the violations were noted. During subsequent inspections, the property was improved, but due to costs, the pool is still not completed. The property owner has been adding chlorine to the water to keep it from turning green with limited success. The city is requesting compliance within 28 days or a fine of $25 per day. I would like to submit my case file and photos to the court.
1 second, please.
Okay, the city's requesting 28 days or $25 per day thereafter?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hold on, she's checking on something. Just a minute.
Your Honor, can we recall this case, please? Can we recall this case, please?
Yes, okay. Anybody need a recess?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's stand in recess for.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess.
Recall your case, ma'am. Okay. I guess we're looking. Okay. All right, very good. Okay. Stand in recess for 10 minutes.
Morning. We will now resume this morning's special magistrate hearing. We are on the case on page 10, case number CE 21070370. Case address 3540 Southwest 3rd Street, Inspector Pat Gavin.
Good morning. Pat Gavin, City of Fort Lauderdale, Code Compliance, presenting case CE 21070370 for property located at 3540 Southwest 3rd Street. This property was first inspected on August 23rd, 2021, and given time to correct for the following violations.
Adjust the microphone.
18-11A, the pool at this occupied property has dirty, stagnant water and is not being maintained on a regular basis. In this condition, it presents a health and safety issue for the community in that it may become a breeding ground for mosquitoes and is a public nuisance. 9-306 has been complied. This case was inspected at 9:50 a.m. on August 23rd, and the violations were noted. During subsequent inspections, the property was improved, but due to costs, the pool is still not completed. The property owner has been adding chlorine to the water to keep it from turning green with limited success. The city is requesting compliance within 28 days or a fine of $25 per day.
I see a picture of the pool.
It's not that green anymore.
Um,
I'm sorry, it's not that green anymore.
Okay, ma'am. If you'll state your name for the
I'm
record.
sorry, my name is LaShawn Lyles. Keanu Busby is my father. I take care of him. He's mentally disabled.
Okay, I'm
So,
having,
I'm-
you'll speak right into the microphone so I can.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's better?
now we're
Okay.
better.
My name is LaShawn Lyles. Keanu Busby is my father. I take care of him. He's mentally disabled. He's the one on the house. He's unable to be here today, so I am in his place.
Okay, you're the owner of the house or not the owner of the house?
It's my dad's house.
It's your dad's house.
He's mentally disabled. He's unable to come here this morning. He and I have been going back and forth, Mr. Gavin, in place of my dad.
All right, so
I was just saying that the pool is not that green anymore. I add chlorine every day.
my main concern is the pool.
Correct. It's not that green anymore. Due to funds being low, I lost my job, and with COVID, and taking care of my dad, money is really tight. But I do my best to add the chlorine every couple of days, at least 2 gallons a day, just to it not to get green anymore. As of right now, it's not that green.
Telling me that the pool has been fixed. Is that what you're saying?
He explains to me I need to get it like vacuumed and serviced, but I don't have enough money to pay someone to come out and service it. So what I've been doing is buying chlorine myself and just putting chlorine in the pool so it does not get stagnant and get that green.
Okay.
So I am really asking for some time, if possible, 90 days, because I'm by myself trying to get this situated, and my dad's unable to help me.
Okay, so you've been putting chlorine in the pool yourself?
Correct. Chlorine and shock.
Does the pump work?
No, so the pump does not work. So he explained to me that it would not get filtered or blue or clear if the pump does not work. In order to get the pump working, I would have to pay someone to come out and fix it or replace it. And at the moment, we're really tight on money. That was, from the beginning, I explained to him that money is really tight. I asked him if they had help from different government places, and there's really no one to help fix this issue that we have.
Picture of the pool, I guess I'm looking at a picture of the pool now. I mean, it doesn't look green or, overrun with algae. And how often are you putting chlorine in it?
Okay, so when it would not rain, I'll put 2 or 3 gallons, if I can afford it, a day. Every other day, I'll do such. Or if it rains back to back, I'll skip a day and do it that way, or skip 2 days and put chlorine.
Okay.
I'll put 3 gallons or 4 gallons at the time.
Okay. All right, so the city's request is 28 days or $25 per day on each, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is it possible to get 90 days to rectify the issue? I'm trying to get it fixed and up to code. So it would give me enough time to save up money to get it replaced if need be.
If it were just the exterior walls, I'm fine. I'm still concerned about the pool. I'm not seeing a green pool as I see in most cases, so.
Your Honor, actually, if I could, Ronald Montoya Hassan with the City Attorney's Office. Actually, it is green. You have to kind of focus on the picture. If you look at the raised part of the concrete through the fence, and then immediately next to that, you'll see that the pool level is low, and it's green as the green foliage around the picture. It is indeed, and I hear the daughter saying it's not that green anymore, but this picture reflects it to be basically grass green.
Yeah.
It's just the water level is very low also in the picture.
That picture was taken, I'm not sure when it was taken, but
That was.
It shows there.
when was
Yeah, it shows there.
12.
July 12th. But as of now, it's not that green. I'm not sure if he could contest to it. It's not that green anymore. I do put chlorine in it to try to keep it at
Okay.
blue.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find that each violation does exist. Give you 28 days to comply or $25 per day thereafter. Now, if you can't get it done within that time, you need to speak to the inspector and you can come back and request additional time. Understand that you're dealing with a difficult situation, but I'm still concerned about this pool that's not working. You say you're putting chlorine in it, that's good, but it really needs to be fixed and working properly because it's a health issue. It's a safety issue. Okay, that's my ruling. 28 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter on each. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 33, Senior Inspector Dorian Cologne, case number CE 2103158, case address 3132 Northeast 9th Street, owner 3132 Northeast 9th LLC. This case was first heard on 6/8/21 to comply by 6/18 and 7/13/21. One section not complied at $50 per day, $3,100 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Good morning again, Senior Inspector Cologne for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number CE 2103-1058. Case address is 3132 Northeast 9th Street. This property was first heard on June 8th, 2021, and the magistrate found for the city, given 35 days to comply for Section 9306 and 10 days for 1812A or a fine of $50 a day thereafter. 1812A is in compliance. However, 9306, the exterior of the building remains in violation as of my pre-hearing inspection on September 13th, 2021, as depicted in the photos, and the city is requesting a full imposition of fines, which continues to accrue, and also we would like to enter the photos in for evidence.
All right, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name.
My name is Narayan Lalwani, and I'm the owner of the property.
All right. Tell me what's going on here. You've been out of compliance you got one taken care of. That's good.
I started doing the work, then all of a sudden my mother, she wasn't feeling good, so we were running back and forth in the hospital. Finally, we lost her a few days back. So we got off track. So I'll appreciate, Inspector, whatever remaining violation they can show me, I'll correct it.
Okay, just calm down. Have you hired somebody to take care of the outside of the building?
Yeah, please show whatever violation is remaining. Officer can meet me tomorrow at the property or I'm ready to meet them and I'll correct the violation. And I'll appreciate if you remove all of my fine.
Okay. Anything else from the city?
No, Your Honor. Your Honor, if you want to give an extension, we don't oppose that.
All right, all right, sir. I'm going to give you a 56-day extension, all right?
Okay. Can you remove all my fines, please?
No, all of your fines are going to stop today, but you have to come into compliance before we can reduce the fines or any, okay?
Okay.
So the fines are going to stop today. It's going to stop for 56 days, okay? And let's get somebody out there and get this cleaned up, taken care of within 56 days.
Can the officer can come tomorrow to explain to me what I can meet the officer at the 10 o'clock and at the property and can show me so I can,
Well, it's pretty evident that, not been maintained, you got structural repairs, fascia, soffits, and disrepair. So
I did quite a bit work, the work.
I know she needs to come out again, or you can.
Yeah, I'll appreciate that.
Okay.
Explain to me.
Okay, 56-day extension is going to stay the fines as of this date. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we call the next respondent, to all of those that are waiting in the virtual hearing room, please ensure you've submitted your identification to Special Magistrate at fortlauderdale.gov. If you are not the property owner, we also need your authority to speak on behalf of the property owner. If you're the attorney, a notice of appearance will suffice, or a copy of your bar card, your Florida bar card will suffice. If you are a property manager, general contractor, or anyone other than the property owner, we need an authorization from the property owner allowing you to speak on behalf of the property. Again, these documents need to be emailed to Special Magistrate at fortlauderdale.gov. It is a requirement to be heard at the hearing. We need a copy of your identification. Thank you. Our next case is on page 26, Inspector Pat Gavin, case number CE21030114, case address 3629 Southwest 12th Court, owner Thomas Loftus. Is there a respondent for 3629 Southwest 12th Court? This case was first heard on 5/27/21 to comply by 6/6/21. One section not complied at $50 per day, $4,950 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
Pat Gavin, City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance, presenting case CE 2103-0114 for property located at 3629 Southwest 12th Court. This property was first inspected on March 3rd, 2021, and given 10 days to correct the following violations. 47-34.4.b.1. There's overnight parking of commercial vehicles at this R8 residential zone location. This case was initially inspected by Officer Holder, who noted the violations. When the violations remained beyond 30 days, the case was scheduled for the Special Magistrate. At the May 27, 21 Special Magistrate hearing, Special Magistrate Purdy ordered 10 days to comply or $50 per day thereafter for all violations. The violation was complied on September 13th, 2021. The total fee due is $4,900.
All right. How many vehicles are parking there?
At various times, there were as many as 5 or 6.
All right. And what is this property?
It's a residential. He's in the process of building it.
Okay, sir, if you'll speak right into the microphone and state your name, please.
Hi, good morning, Your Honor. I'm Thomas Loftus.
All right. I'm not seeing any pictures, but you've been out of compliance for 99 days. Tell me why.
Well, Your Honor, the address, number one, is not correct in the records. It's there's a P.O. box here listed. I did not get any notifications. There was even a court hearing. I didn't attend the hearing. The house is a new construction also, so there's commercial vehicles going to be parked on the property. I don't see an issue for compliance as far as that go. I may be wrong. I just wanted to bring that to your attention that it is new construction.
Okay,
Your Honor, these vehicles, first of all, they're not all construction vehicles. Last week, there was a mobile grooming vehicle parked on this property. And these vehicles are being left overnight. They're not just coming in when he's doing construction. They were being stored there.
okay. All right, I'm going to grant the city's request to impose the fines, and they'll continue to accrue.
Your Honor, I do have a picture I took this morning that all vehicles are removed.
It is in compliance as of yesterday.
It is.
Well, the inspector has to come out and verify that.
Right. Your Honor, I verified as of yesterday, they are in compliance. The vehicles are now removed.
They are in compliance.
They are in compliance, yes. We're asking for the fee due of $4,900.
Okay, $4,900, okay. Okay, so the only issue now is the fine.
Yes,
So
sir.
they are in compliance. So we
Yes,
can
sir.
address the fine. Okay. Well, tell me why you have multiple commercial vehicles parked at a private residence.
Well, a couple of them were mine, Your Honor, and I did remove them. I sold the 2 vehicles to remove them to come in compliance. I didn't realize that, there was an issue. Yeah, I'm not going to dispute anything. I'm just saying there was new construction. I wasn't aware, and my address was not correct.
Very simple
Yeah.
to comply with. You moved them. You take them
Yeah,
somewhere else.
I did. I actually had to sell the vehicle. It took time to take care of this issue, and I did do the best I could. I would.
Your Honor, if I could, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Montoya, did you want to add?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Ronald Montoya Hassan with the City Attorney's Office. Since the property owner has said several times that he wasn't present at the first hearing because there's a P.O. box address, that is not correct. I'm looking currently at BCPA. The address is a Pines Boulevard address in Pembroke Pines, and staff can confirm that indeed that is where the notices have all gone to that address as listed with the Broward County Property Appraiser, which, as Your Honor knows, under 162, that is where we are obligated to send all notices.
Hang on. Okay, so the address on for the property appraiser is 8362, and that's the address that was used. Okay.
Yes, but there's a P.O. box. There's a box 236.
Where a P.O. box comes into this, the property appraiser lists the mailing address.
Yeah.
Is just stated in the. And that's
Okay.
where the notices went.
Yeah, but there's a box
city
236. I understand it's an error.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no error on the city's part, Your Honor, is what I want to make sure we're clear on. There's no post office box listed on the property appraiser's website, and that's where we're obligated by law to send the notice. And that's where we did send the notice.
All right, I'm going to grant the city's request and impose the fines, $4,950.
Can we have administrative costs? I mean, isn't that good? I mean, I'm getting full fined here, and I don't have the money to pay $4,000, Your Honor.
Okay.
I just don't.
You were out of compliance a long time, and it was easy to correct the violation.
I see everybody here that's come in front of you has been out of compliance. Worse than me, $24,000 and come out in administrative costs of $800. Mr. Gavin, please, can I have some leniency here?
All right, sir, I've made my ruling. Thank you.
It's not fair.
Our next case is on page 30. Inspector Gustavo Caracas, case number CE21070728. Case address 914 Southeast 2nd Court. Owner Mormon Properties 3 LLC. This property was cited on 8/5/21 to comply by 8/15/21. One section not complied at $250 per day. City's requesting full amount $9,750 accrued. The city's requesting full amount in fines continue to accrue. The appeal deadline was 8/21/21, and no appeal was received for this property. Your Honor, Katrina Jordan on behalf of the City of Fort Lauderdale. This property was cited for failure to register the residential dwelling within the city. There's a free application for the landlord registration program, and there's violation 9-363 for failure to register with the landlord registration program. The property was cited by issuing citation from the administrator to the code officer. 15 days were given for compliance, and the deadline was 8/21/2021. There was no compliance achieved and no appeal received.
Okay.
It is in compliance now.
Give me 1 second and I'll check the compliance date.
9/9/2. This is. No, that says expiration date. Let's see what date is on.
Yes, sir, you are correct. So compliance was achieved on 9/2/2021. And I'll let you know how long the property was out of compliance if you give me.
When
sorry?
was this statute created?
February 1st, 2021.
Okay, so this is a new.
Yes. And the city did 90 days of outreach to communities by sending postcards directly to the property owner on the property appraiser's website of record, stating that the properties had to be registered. We did not start enforcement until July
So the
of 2021.
property is owned by my father.
Okay.
He's been in and out of the hospital for the last several months. So it wasn't until recently that he started to say, hey, I need help with this stuff.
Okay,
but
but
we gotta-
let me be clear. It is now in compliance?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In addition to other properties that he owned that weren't cited as of yet. So it wasn't just this one that I
Right.
took care of for him.
There's a very.
Hang on.
So the property is in compliance. It was out of compliance for 29 days.
For 29 days?
Yes, sir.
All right. And the violation was failure to register the residential dwelling?
Yes, failure to register as a rental property, and this is a new statute that was created in May?
No, sir, February.
Okay.
All right,
So
go
he-
ahead.
This is also a citation, Your Honor.
I'm sorry? Yeah, it's a citation with no appeal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, go ahead, sir. I mean,
Well, I'm not sure what the no appeal means.
well,
He-
bad news for you.
He-
The no appeal means, since you didn't take an appeal, you have admitted that the violation existed. In other words,
Well, yeah, this is a new statute. This is a new procedure for the city of Fort Lauderdale.
I know.
He did attempt to go online and register himself. He had too much difficulty. I had to go to 4 different computers to actually get the procedure completed. Not sure what the software was and what the problem was with the different computers, but it continued to malfunction. So eventually I was able to do it. Not sure when the appeal would have been requested. When I found out that there was a magistrate hearing, I immediately called the city with the number on here. I was told at that point, since the hearing was scheduled, to go ahead and comply and then to show up at the hearing. Since that date, which was on the 2nd, we did get the power of attorney so I could represent him here because he can't be here himself. But it's really an administrative thing that's new. And yes, I'm sure there was outreach. With him being in and out of the hospital, he has a ton of mail that's not necessarily. But obviously, when you get something from a magistrate, a formal, that's something that gets sliced open and handed away immediately.
just so you understand, I, as the magistrate, am bound to follow the ordinance. I don't have discretion at this point.
Oh, and I don't have any question with the ordinance. It's just that it's a new ordinance. This isn't
Well,
something
whether it's
existed-
new,
Yeah,
it's the law.
right.
Okay, it's the law. And the law says you didn't file an appeal, so you have admitted that the violation existed. And my only option as the magistrate is to impose the fine that has accrued. I have no discretion to reduce the fine.
So when would I have had to?
But now, listen, please listen to me. Please listen to me. So I'm coming up, then, well, I'm headed here. Okay, so if you're out of compliance for 29 days, correct? 29 days, at $250 a day, is $7,250. My only discretion today is to impose that amount. However, there is a process by which you can apply under, hardship or whatever else to reduce that lien. But that is a separate step that I can't address today. It's a separate process, and there should be someone here. The lady over there in the corner can instruct you and give you the paperwork to file for the reduction of lien. Under the ordinance, that is the only thing I can do today. I have no discretion to do anything else. That's what the ordinance says. New, old, or middle-aged, that's what the law is.
Okay, when would I have had to? What was it? What was the term that I'm obviously missed? It doesn't. I'm obviously missing something because
Right, so when the citation is issued, on the citation on both sides, the front and the back, it states that you have the right to appeal within 15 days from the issuing of the citation.
Yeah, I don't. It's not a matter that there's anything wrong, right? This isn't out of the ordinary. There's nothing I did out of the ordinary. This is a fact that the communication failed between the city of Fort Lauderdale and my father.
All of those things, whatever you.
No, that's not correct. There's no failure of communication. And for the record, Ronald Montoya Hassan with the city attorney's office. There's no failure of communication. There was outreach done. The citation, if people would bother to read the citation, it clearly states that you must appeal within 15 days or it's construed as an admission, just like a traffic ticket. Same thing. If you don't appeal, it's considered an admission of violation, and under 11-19G, the magistrate shall impose the civil penalty. So there's no failure of communication on behalf of the city.
I didn't say that. I said there was a communication breakdown. I didn't say it was the city of Fort Lauderdale's fault. That, my father's in and out of hospital. It was construed that way.
Sir,
So
with all due respect, we're simply wasting time at this point. I
understand, but $7,000 for a administrative task is
again,
a lot.
that is
It's a
all
lot.
I can
It's a
do
lot.
today. And if you're not happy with that, you can talk to this lady and institute the process to reduce that lien. Okay?
Thank you.
We're going to take a 10-minute recess as we are still awaiting the identification from the respondents that are waiting in our online hearing room. Again, if you wish to be heard at today's hearing, you are required to send a copy of your identification to Special Magistrate at fortlauderdale.gov. Of the 16 respondents, we now have 4. So if you have not sent your identification and power of attorney or authorization, if you're not the proper Good morning, everyone that's been waiting. We appreciate your patience as our IT team assists us in working out a very small issue. I'm trying to call the next case on page 24. The respondents, Ken McMacken and David Nat. Ken McMacken is in the room. However, David Nat, I am having difficulty getting you into the room. If you are here, can you please raise your hand? Our next case is going to be on page 24.
Okay, good.
Inspector Malaika Murray, case number CE20100197, case address 1400 Northeast 53rd Court, owner Oak Tree, Avoncore Ridge, LLC, in care of Oak Tree Management Ltd. This case was first heard on 3/9/21 to comply by 4/14/21, suspended 6/8/21 to 9/14/21. One section complied at $100 per day. $3,500 accrued. The city is requesting full amount. Mr. Nat and Mr. McMacken, can you please unmute and raise your right hands, please? Do you swear and affirm to speak the truth at today's proceedings?
I do.
Thank you.
Inspector Murray, number 302, on behalf of the city, representing case number CE20100197 for the property at 1400 Northeast 53rd Court. This case came before the special magistrate on 3/9/2021, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city. These violations were first cited on 10/7/2020 when the property was being mismanaged by a different property management firm. A total of 7 inspections have been performed at the property. Since the initial hearing on 3/9/2021, a new property management firm has taken responsibility of the property. During the process of gaining compliance, the new firm has remained in contact with me and has been diligent with their response, as well as to their response to corrections and improvements at the property. This case is currently in compliance, and with that said, I believe the new property representation would like to speak with you, Special Magistrate, about the fact of that.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Inspector Murray. Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Ken McMacken. I'm a Senior Vice President at Bank Capital, who is the owner of the property. First, I'd just like to take this quick opportunity to thank Inspector Murray. When we were first made aware of the violation, Inspector Murray was extremely communicative with our team and helped us identify exactly what needed to be done to cure the violation. City staff has been nothing but communicative, courteous, and professional, so thank you. As I'm sure many other property managers have experienced over the past year, we've had some challenges with staffing and experienced some employee turnover. Part of the cause of that is caused this to slip. Once myself and my team was made aware of the violation, we quickly worked with a local contractor to repave the streets and cure the violation. And we did our best to keep Inspector Murray apprised of the status of the situation along the way. The violation has now been cured, and I apologize that the violation rose to this point. But again, thank you to city staff for helping us through this process.
All right. Anything else from the city, Ms. Bass?
Good morning, Your Honor. Supervisor Stephanie Bass on behalf of the city of Fort Lauderdale. The property was at one point, as previously stated, changed from management company. During that time, they were unable to ask for a stay of fines. So therefore, that's why through a period, fines did accrue. So at this time, Your Honor, the city has no objection to abating the fines that accrued during that time where the management had to change over to the current management. So it's the city's position at this time to abate any fines that's accrued at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Are there administrative costs involved?
Yes, $488.
It was administrative costs in the amount of $488, Your Honor.
488?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to reduce the fines to administrative costs, $488. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 5. Inspector Paulette Del Grosso. Case number CE20120191. Case address 1345 Northeast 15th Avenue. Owners John and Arlene Assen. Property posted 8/12/21. Posted at City Hall 8/13/21.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector, excuse me.
Good morning.
Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. Essen, could you please unmute yourself, start your video, and raise your right hands so you can be sworn in? Good morning. Do you swear or affirm to speak the truth at today's proceedings?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Del Grosso for the City of Fort Lauderdale. The case and address are as read. The property was initially inspected on December 8th, 2020, and cited for the following violations. 25-13, gravel has been placed on the swale without a permit. 4729-9K, decorative stone or gravel is being utilized at this location in excess of 10% of the total landscape area. An inspection report was mailed to the owner of record on December 10th, 2020, and a permit for the pavers and gravel was submitted on January 5th. Since then, the gravel contractor, Karen Monroe, has made corrections to the permit application, but to date, no permit has been issued, as it is still awaiting client reply. Therefore, the city is requesting 63 days to comply or $50 a day thereafter for each violation.
All right, on behalf of the owner.
Hello, Your Honor. Your Honor.
Okay, turn for the owner to speak.
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Arlene Essen. And I am asking if you can give us some more time because we have been working with
I'm sorry, ma'am. If you could please turn off any audio. Secondary audio in your room is causing a loop in the audio. Thank you.
Can you hear me now properly?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. We have been working with the zoning department, Mr. James Hollingsworth. I have brought several proposals, plans to him, and we submitted the permit twice, and the second time it also came back with comments. And right this week, I sent him another drawings. Another architectural drawing, this one, and he sent it back with some comments, which I have to correct it. And he also asked me that before I submit again, if I should talk to Mr. Phillips and Ms. Tooley, one engineer and the other one is landscaping in the city. And so the problem is that I have to ask for a parking variance and I have to ask for parking reduction. And the deadline to submit these is October 8th, and the board meeting will be held on November 10th.
Okay, from the city.
Your Honor, again, the city's requesting 63 days to comply or $50 a day thereafter for each violation. And if that is granted, then that would bring the date up to November 16th for an expected compliance date.
Your Honor, but is that after we get the approval, the variance approval, I cannot start doing the work prior to obtaining approval.
Which is
so if the board meets on November 10th, I would have to have
I need some time to put in the concrete and whatever we need to do for the driveway.
What variance are you asking for?
I'm asking, right now, we need, the code requests us to have 6 parking spots, but the property doesn't have enough space. So we are asking to get permission to only have 5 parking spots. And also the way the property is, there's not enough space for the cars. The cars will be sticking out. And for that, I need a variance also.
What's the connection between that and the gravel?
Because where the spots are, that's where the gravel is right now. My husband is here. Can he speak to you?
Sure.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is John Essen, and I just wanted to add that this is a building that we pretty much bought with the existing, gravel. What we did was we painted, I sent some photographs. We basically painted the building and we put gravel on top of existing gravel. The whole neighborhood has gravel. What we basically did was change, if you go down the gravel, we basically added gray slate gravel on white gravel, which is what is existing. Now, the plans of that existing property was pretty much, I don't know if it was approved, but the city wanted us to, since there are 3 units there, to be able to show in a plan that that building can accommodate 2 parking spots per unit, which is 6. But based on the existing zoning, there's no way it could meet the requirements for 6. So they wanted us to get an architect to show, based on the dimension, that this is not possible. And we got an architect drew a plan for us, and they will be meeting, I believe, on November.
No, October 8th,
October
we have to submit
it. I included a picture. We've complied with everything that the city has requested so far, but we do not have any control as to when they want to meet us and also when they want to make a decision. We will comply. It's just a matter of what are we supposed to do. We put, the 10% or is it 20% rule as far as vegetation is concerned. When we found it out, okay, we told the city, no problem, we'll take the tiles off. If you want us to take the slate off, we'll take the slate off. What and how do we do that? That's when the whole issue about getting the whole property redesigned by an architect came up. We are in the process. This is the 3rd architectural drawing of a property that's been in existence for over 60 years, and the department doesn't have any existing drawing in their record. So the last submission was 2 days ago, and we got a letter from them yesterday asking for additional things to be added. Now, if we are supposed to, do changes, I don't mind doing the changes, okay, if you want us to do it by the 14th. But my concern is that it might not be cost effective if the city comes back and tells us this doesn't meet, take this out, which has been what we've been going through. But I do believe that when they do meet, the zoning board meets, we will hopefully have some level of finality as to what exactly is expected of us.
Your Honor, if I may,
Go ahead.
I apologize for interrupting, but with all due respect to Dr. Eason, I'm well aware of this property. It used to be a mix of grass and some gravel, some old gravel. Then he and his wife acquired the property, and even before this came in as a complaint, I saw what was happening, and I went to a tenant to get the phone number for the new owner. I attempted to call Dr. Essen.
You could call me John. That's okay, please.
I thank you. Prior to this coming in as a complaint, and sure enough, I knew it would come in as a complaint by a neighbor, because what they did was they completely removed all living ground cover and replaced pavers on top, as well as this mix of gravel. So unfortunately, this has been going on since December. He and his wife have been aware of this, and the city does not have an objection, however, if he needs additional time, considering this meeting that's going to occur on November 10th. So at your discretion, Your Honor, if you would like to provide more time than the 63 days suggested, then the city would have no objection.
All right, I'm going to.
Your Honor, if I could suggest, and I apologize also for interrupting, but Ronald Montoya Hassan with the City Attorney's Office, my suggestion, Your Honor, would be to go with the inspector's time frame and then also add a mandatory reappearance, so that way Dr. and Mrs. Essen can come back and update, Your Honor, as to what happened with the variance, and what the action plan is after that time. And then perhaps at that juncture, you can give additional time based upon what the board says and what the property owner is going to do.
I will comply with whatever decision they make and whatever decision you decide.
Here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to find that each violation does exist. I mean, you created this problem by doing this without a permit, but I'm going to allow 91 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter, and without prejudice to seek an extension if you need to. But I don't want this thing to sit, and I'm still not getting to the connection between the variance and correcting the violations that you committed. So, okay, that's it. 91 days, $50 per day thereafter, both violations exist. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go back to work.
Our next case is on page 29. Inspector Gustavo Caracas. Case number CE 20110140. Case address 1229 Miami Road. Owner Pat 2 Investments LLC in care of Upside Management LLC. This case was first heard on 4/29/21 to comply by 6/24/21. 5 sections not complied at $50 per day. $20,250 accrued, and this is a request for an extension.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Ms. Espinosa, can you please start your video? Thank you. Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to speak the truth at today's proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Caracas with the City of Fort Lauderdale case and address as read. This particular case, Your Honor, the Ms. Angie Espinosa is asking for extension of time, sir.
All right, and the city's position?
City's position in regards to the extension, give her another 91 days to apply and obtain the required permit and start construction for the parking lot area that is required on a multifamily home.
All right, as the owner here via Zoom.
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Angie Espinoza. I'm the property manager for 1229 Miami Road.
All right, anything you'd like to add?
No, we were just looking for the extension. Unfortunately, I came down with COVID and wasn't able to work on this project as detailed as we wanted to. The remaining violations that were placed have been complied. The only one we have left is the parking. It is a big project and a large amount. Unfortunately, due to COVID, the owner does not have the funds at this time. We are under 3 evictions out of 6 units for non-payment of rental. We've been trying to look for other facilities that can help us financially to bring into compliance with this parking. The one question the owner does have is that why is it that now that the city has decided to fine us or give us a violation on the parking when this property was purchased like this several years ago?
Okay, ma'am, I'm going to grant a 91-day extension, stay the fines as of this date.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next case is on page 34. Senior Inspector Manny Garcia. Case number CE 20110391. Case address 1640 Northwest 25th Avenue. Owner Roberta Banks Estate. This case was first heard on 6/8/21 to comply by 7/6/21. One section not complied at $100 per day. $6,900 is accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue. Mr. Banks was just in the room, but I don't see him.
Did Mr. Banks have a court a court order appointing him personal representative?
I will check that as well as we're waiting. Well,
thank you.
I'll have staff check and I'll just call the next case. Our next case is on page 9. Inspector Pat Gavin. Case number CE 21050969, case address 2961 Southwest 11th Court. Owner Rachel Jacobson. Personal service was given to this property on 8/11/21 and posted at City Hall on 8/31/21.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Jerry, can you see if Rachel Jacobson can get into the room?
Rachel, can you hear us? If you can, please press unmute. Rachel Jacobson, if you could please press unmute.
And while we're working with Rachel Jacobson, Mr. Banks, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi, I'm here.
Thank you, Rachel. One moment, Rachel. Mr. Banks, do you have power of attorney to speak on behalf of the property?
Yeah, I'm in control of the estate.
Do you have documentation stating this fact?
I believe so. I have to find it, but basically it was my grandmother's house and then my mother's house, and they both passed away. I'm the only living heir.
Right, you need to have sorry, this is Rhonda Hassan with the City Attorney's Office. Do you have a copy of the court order appointing you the personal representative?
I don't have it on me now. I'm actually, I have another ongoing court case, which is why I haven't been able to comply. I've had an issue with our next door neighbor, and I had to move from the residence. So I don't have that documentation on me currently.
Do you happen to, I mean, because I'm looking in the case in Fort Law, is the probate action open in Broward County?
I don't believe it's open at this point. No, my mother passed away in 2018, so I was under the understanding that was closed.
I'm not finding any case in existence of Roberta Banks in the court system. So it would be helpful if you had that order.
Understood.
Or do you know the case number, or can you find the case number?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'd come there before to represent the case previously, and I wasn't required to furnish that document, so I just wasn't aware that I needed it.
Yeah, that's difficult for me to speak to. I mean, you should have been asked for that. Because yeah, in a state's case, we do need, a copy of the order appointing the personal representative, just to make sure.
Yeah, I understand. I don't have that on me currently. I didn't know I needed it, so I would have been prepared if I would have known, but I wasn't aware of that. I apologize.
We'll reschedule this case for later.
Yeah, let's do that.
Thank you. Mr. Banks, we'll send you a new notice of hearing.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we are recalling the case for Ms. Rachel Jacobson on page 9 with Inspector Pat Gavin. Rachel, now you can unmute yourself. Thank you, Rachel. Can you please
Thank you.
start your video if you can and raise your right hand?
Yes,
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm to speak the truth at today's proceedings?
I do.
Thank you.
Pat Gavin with the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance, presenting case CE 21050969 for property located at 2961 Southwest 11th Court. This property was first inspected on May 27th, 2021, and given 30 days to correct for the following violations. 9-276C3, there is a need for the extermination of termites. 9-280B, there are building parts which are deteriorated and not maintained. There is rotting wood near the entrance. There are several windows missing panes and windows that do not open. 9-280H1, the fence at this property is in disrepair and is not being maintained as required. Specifically, at the rear of the property, a section of the chain link fence is broken and bent inward. The case was initially inspected by Officer Garcia, who noted the violations. A copy of the inspection was presented to the residents as well as mailed to the owner of record in BCPA. To date, no progress has been made to bring any of these violations into compliance. The city is requesting compliance within 21 days or a fine of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
I'm sorry, the city's recommendation?
Compliance within 21 days or a fine of $50 per violation per day thereafter.
Were all of the photographs that had just flashed up on this property? Can I say the photographs on this property again? Okay. Okay, on behalf of the owner, Ms. Jacobson?
Yes, the problem that I've had with this property has been the tenant. I knew about there was a cockroach problem. I wasn't aware of a termite problem. But I, back in March, had an exterminator go out and seal up some holes to take care of any rodents or and take care of the cockroaches at the time. Per the lease, it's actually the responsibility of the tenant to take care of any extermination needs. So I was going back and forth with the tenant about that, but she's being very difficult. So I just decided I would bite the bullet and do whatever needed to be done as far as extermination. I had an exterminator. I asked them to call the tenant to schedule a time. There was some kind of fluke in their system, and they just showed up at an appointment time that their system had generated. And the tenant had pulled a gun on the exterminator. So at that point, I couldn't have anyone else go out, and that was back in June, after I had gotten the notice. As far as everything else for the fence and for the rotting wood that's in the front door, I've just had a hard time with this tenant. She has my phone number blocked, so I can't even call her to get a time to have someone come out. I was repairing windows one by one and installing impact windows. And it seemed like every time that I was replacing a window, she was breaking another one, just to make the process go faster, because from day one, she was saying that she didn't like the windows, not that they wouldn't open or that they weren't functional, but that she didn't like them. And then all of a sudden they were breaking. So as I was trying to communicate with her and try to get down to the bottom of everything and asking her to send me photos, I'm from New Jersey, by the way, so I'm not even in Florida to go down and meet with her. It was just pulling teeth, just trying to communicate with her, and I couldn't get anybody out there to do any kind of service, especially after the incident in June when she pulled a gun. That's when I decided I wasn't sending anyone else out there. Despite what may come, from the courts, I'll pay anything. I'm not going to put someone's life in jeopardy. I don't care. At this point, the photos there are obviously new. The tenant has been evicted, so now I do have access to the property. Right now, I'm coordinating a cleaner to come and clean the front area as well as inside the house, because I'm going to prepare it to sell. And then I'm also working on getting the exterminator out there as well. I just have to coordinate because, again, I'm not local, so it takes a little bit more for me to get people's schedules aligned to let someone into the house.
Okay. You got a real disaster there that needs to be cleaned up very quickly. I find that each violation does exist 21 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Okay, so I have until October, what would that be? October 7th?
October 5th.
Days will be.
5th? Okay.
October 5th.
No problem.
Okay. All right. You might consider coming down here and supervising this, because it's.
Yes, that's been the other difficult part of it. I have a 20-month-old daughter, so it's kind of hard for me to travel with everything going on. And I know that the virus has been surging in Florida, so it's just been bad timing, but.
Get a private or something. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Our next case is on page 33. Case number CE 19081904, case address 405 Coral Way, owner Carlos Vieira. This case was first heard on 1/16/2020 to comply by 2/13/2020. There are 3 suspensions notated on the agenda. One section not complied at $50 per day, $6,250 accrued. This case is now in compliance, and the city is requesting no fines. And I'm
Okay, any appearance by the owner?
Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning.
All right, and your name, please?
Lauren Pleffner, representative for the property owner.
All right, the city's requesting no fines.
We would appreciate that, Your Honor.
You agree unless they
Good morning.
this one out.
No, we have no objection, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. No fines.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Inspector.
Good morning, Mr. Harrison. Mr. Harrison, if you can hear us, please unmute. We've been trying to contact you.
Hello, you have Mr. Harrison.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Harrison. We've been awaiting your documentation to speak on behalf of the property. We didn't receive.
Sorry, I'm just here in support only. I represent the airport. So I'm just here to answer any questions as it relates to the code violations as related to the links properties.
I'm sorry, which properties?
For the properties dealing with the links T hangers.
That was heard with Captain Kasarich earlier today.
That was correct. Yeah, I heard all of those. So this was the time that I was given. But yes, I was just here to provide any context or clarity as necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Lockhart. Can you hear us? Ms. Lockhart, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Lockhart. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, we were unable to receive your identification. Do you have it with you right now?
Yes, I do.
Yes, ma'am. Can you just hold it up to the screen for us? That would be sufficient. And I know you're here with your mother. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm with my mom.
Yes, ma'am. What's the property address?
It's 1011 Alabama Avenue in Fort Lauderdale.
Good. Our apologies, Miss Harrison, and my apologies as well to your mother. This case came into compliance, so the court officer complied your case.
Okay, it's for Corinne Porter, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Corinne Porter. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your patience. You all have a lovely day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
We now have a respondent appearing by telephone. His case is on page 30. The case is closed.
Hedman. It's Hedman at here.
That would be Senior Inspector Dorian Colon on page 30. Case number CE-19110032. Case address 716 Solar Isle Drive, owner Henrik Hedman. This case was first heard on 2/20/2020 to comply by 4/23/2020. There are 3 suspensions notated on the agenda. One section complied at $100 per day, $19,400 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount. Mr. Slickavone, can you please raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm to speak the truth at today's proceedings?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning again, Senior Inspector Coloyan for the City of Fort Lauderdale. Case number is CE-1911-0032. Case address is 716 Solar Isle Drive. This case was presented before the special magistrate by Inspector Snyder on February 20th, 2020, where evidence was presented and the magistrate found for the city to comply by April 23rd, 2020. And the case was brought back again on April 29th. And there was a total of 3 extensions given. The case is now in compliance, however, it was out of compliance for a total of 194 days. There was a total of 19 inspections made to the property, and the total amount of the fines that has accrued is $19,400, and the city is requesting a full imposition of fines.
All right, on behalf of the owner.
Mr. Scavone?
Is the owner with us?
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm here.
The magistrate is waiting to hear from you.
Okay. Mr. Hedman signed a contract with us in January of 2020 to repair the seawall. First, let me state that there was nothing wrong with the seawall whatsoever. It was just that the wall was too low, and in extreme high tides, the water would breach the top of the seawall. And I believe that's what the violation was, considering that the adjacent property seawalls were already raised up. So there was no damage to the property or the adjacent properties. Regardless, we pulled a permit in January of 2020 to raise the seawall and rebuild the dock, which had to come out to do the seawall work. Unfortunately, mid-February, we lost 65% of our workforce due to the virus, and we didn't do any work for approximately 6 or 7 months. So we didn't start work on that until the latter part of 2020 to get this wall going. And see the amount of work that was involved in this, it took us several months to get this done. Plus, we were hampered by people and material. This was on no part of the owner. This was all on us as the contractor. As I said, he turned us loose in January to comply with this citation that he received in February. So that's the reason why you're talking to me. I told the owner I would take responsibility for this due to, our delay in trying to get this work completed. But as I said, due to the virus, we couldn't work out there for at least, I don't believe we started until sometime in September to actually, or at least September, before we were even able to get started on this.
Your Honor, the city would like to actually request a 20% fine. And that would be in the amount of $3,880.
All right. Ma'am, did you hear what the inspector said?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, like I said, if it wasn't for what's taken place the past 2 years, we probably would have been completed the middle of 2020, but unfortunately it was out of our control. So, I mean, if this is, what you guys feel is fair, that, I'll have to accept it. I don't agree, but I'll have to accept it. Like I said, it was out of our control to a point where we just couldn't do it.
Okay, I think the city's position is very reasonable. I'm going to impose fines of $3,880. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll accept it. Could someone send me the paperwork or something so I can go ahead and have my office make a check payable to the city?
You'll get an order in the mail, sir.
All right, so you'll send it directly to me, correct?
We're going to send it to the property owner as recorded in the Broward County Property Appraiser's office.
All right, so this will be sent to the owner?
Yes.
All right, then I'll go ahead and inform the owner, and then I'll reimburse the owner, okay?
All righty, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Williams? Hi, good
morning.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. Were you able to obtain that documentation?
They are trying to get it emailed over to you right now.
Okay, so we're going to move forward, and Mr. Williams will check and see in a few minutes if we get that email.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to move to the non-respondents. Our next case is on page 1. Captain Robert Cassarge, case number FC 210700005. Case address 1401 Northeast 57th Place. Owner 1401 Northeast 57th Place, LLC. Property posted 8/30/2021. Posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Good morning, Your Honor. Captain Robert Gustavo, Fort Lauderdale Fire Marshal's Office here to present case number FC 210700005. Property address 1401 Northeast 57th Place. Property is cited in reference to NFPA 1 4.5.6.8.6. I'm sorry, let me do that again. NFPA 1 4.5.8.6. The fire alarm system has not been tested, inspected, and tagged in accordance with the code. The violation of NFPA 1 13.6.4.3.2.1 is complied. We're requesting 28 days or $100 a day thereafter.
All right, I found the violation does exist, 28 days to comply, $100 per day thereafter.
Our next case is on the bottom of page 2. Captain Robert Cassarge, case number FC 210700003. Case address 6300 North Andrews Avenue. Owner 6300 Uptown Center LP in care of BGS. Attention Michael Scazillo. Property posted 8/30/21. Posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
And Captain Robert Cassarwich with Fort Lauderdale Fire Marshal's Office for case FC 210700003. Property address 6300 North Andrews Avenue. Property was cited in reference to NFPA 1 13.3.1.1. The fire sprinkler system is in need of service. I spoke with the previous contracted company out there that certifies that fire sprinkler system, and they have been dropped from the services of doing the annual inspections out there. System's not tagged or certified. We're requesting 28 days or $100 a day thereafter.
I find the violation does exist, 28 days, $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Our next case on page 6, case number CE 21060318. Inspector Paulette Del Grasso, that case is closed. Our next case is on page 7, case Inspector Malaika Murray. Case number CE 210200900. Case address 3909 Northeast 21st Avenue, number 1. Owner Arlen J. Hallman. Property posted 8/16/21. Posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Inspector Murray, number 302, on behalf of the city for case number CE 210200900 for the property at 3909 Northeast 21st Avenue, unit number 1. I first inspected this residential property zoned RMM25 residential multifamily mid-rise medium high density on February the 28th, 2021, following a complaint that was received. The following violations were found and cited: 9-306 for structural parts including fascia and perimeter wall paneling / wood slats that were in disrepair and required maintenance. The next violation would be 9-280B. There are building parts which are deteriorated and not maintained. There was a damaged or several damaged window screens at this particular unit. The next violation would be 18-12A. There is overgrown grass as well as vegetation and debris on this particular property. Next violation would be 18-11B. The swimming pool located at this unoccupied property has stagnant water, trash, and debris at the bottom of the pool, presenting a health and safety issue for the community that may become a breeding ground for mosquitoes as well as a public nuisance. Posting and mailing of the legal documents has been done as per department protocol. BCPA records reveals no change of ownership since June 17th of 2014. This property is currently homesteaded. A pre-hearing inspection took place on Sunday, September the 12th, and the property remains in violation as depicted in the pictures. The city requests that for violation 9-306, that it be brought into compliance within 28 days or receive a fine of $50 per day to be imposed thereafter. For the next violation, which would be 9-280B, that it be brought into compliance within 28 days or a $50 per day fine be imposed thereafter. For violation 18-12A, that violation be brought into compliance within 10 days or receive a fine of $50 per day be posed after. For violation 18-11B, that violation be brought into compliance within 7 days or receive a fine of $100 per day be imposed thereafter.
And that each violation does exist, and the fines, the times and fines, as stated by the inspector, will be imposed.
Thank you very much, Special Magistrate.
Our next case is on page 8. Inspector Pat Gavin, case number CE 21050697, case address 131 Southwest 31st Avenue, owner Janice Canella. Personal service was given to this property on 8/11/2021 and posted at City Hall on 8/31/21.
Good morning. Pat Gavin, City of Fort Lauderdale, Code Compliance, representing case CE 21050697 for property located at 131 Southwest 31st Avenue. This property was first inspected on May 21st, 2021, and given time to correct for the following violations. 24-27B, there are waste containers left roadside overnight after collection day and not pulled back to an approved location. 9-304B, there are vehicles parked on the grass and lawn area. 18-1, there is outdoor storage at this property that is creating a public nuisance that consists of brooms, buckets, wood, cans, and other miscellaneous items. It is being maintained in such a manner that the property is or may reasonably become infested or inhabited by rodents, vermin, or wild animals, or may furnish a breeding place for mosquitoes, or threatens or endangers the public health, safety, or welfare, or may adversely affect and impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. 18-4C, there are derelict vehicles on the property. This case was initially inspected by Officer Holder, who noted the violations above. She posted the property as well as mailed a copy to the property owner of record per BCPA. Subsequent inspections have been made, and on each inspection it was noted that the violations remain. The city is requesting compliance within 14 days or a fine of $25 per violation per day thereafter.
All right, I find that each violation does exist, 28 days to comply, $25 per day there.
He said 14.
You said 14 days,
And $25.
14 days, 28, 14 days, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case, also on page 8, Inspector Pat Gavin, case number CE 21050825, case address 472 East Evanston Circle, owner Erenice Augustin and Jocelyn Augustin, property posted 8/11/21, posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Pat Gavin, City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance, presenting case CE 21050825 for property located at 472 East Evanston Circle. This property was first inspected on May 27, 2021, and given time to correct for the following violations. 9-313A, property is not identified by approved address numbers. 9-305B has been complied. 18-1 has been complied. 47-39.A.1.B.6b, there is outdoor storage of items including but not limited to construction material, buckets, and food containers, old tires, an old toilet, and other miscellaneous items. This case was initially inspected by Officer Holder, who noted the violations. She also noted a vehicle parked in such a way that it blocked the sidewalk, which was given a verbal warning. That vehicle has since been moved. The property has been re-inspected, and it was noted that the trash on the property has been removed and new sod has been laid on the swale. The missing house numbers and storage on the porch continues. The city is requesting compliance within 14 days or a fine of $25 per violation per day thereafter.
All right, I find that each violation does exist, 14 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 10, Inspector Pat Gavin, case number CE 21060872, case address 3050 West Broad Boulevard, owner MDC Coastal 17 LLC. Personal service was given to this property on 8/23/21 and posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Pat Gavin, City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance, presenting case CE 21060872 for property located at 3050 West Broward Boulevard. This property was first inspected on June 29th, 2021, and given time to correct for the following violations. 18-12A, there is overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and its swale. 47-21.11.a has been complied. 9-306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. There are areas of the exterior that have stains and missing peeling paint. 24-28A, the dumpster enclosure at this property is not secured, and there is a large accumulation of trash and foul odors. 18-1, there is clothes and other products dumped at the rear of the property, causing foul odors and creating a public nuisance. It is being maintained in such a manner that the property is or may reasonably become infested or inhabited by rodents, vermin, or wild animals, or may furnish a breeding place for mosquitoes, or threatens or endangers the public health, safety, or welfare, or may adversely affect and impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. This case was initially inspected by Officer Garcia, who noted the violations. Re-inspections have been conducted, and only the landscaping violation is in compliance. The city is requesting compliance within 7 days or a fine of $100 per violation per day thereafter, with the exception of the building maintenance, which would be 21 days or a fine of $50 per day thereafter.
All right, I find that each violation does exist, and the city's request as to time for compliance and fines is granted.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 12. Inspector Gustavo Caracas. Case number CE 21060691, case address 643 North Andrews Avenue, owner Community 8 Properties LLC, property posted 8/17/21, posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Good morning, Your Honor. Inspector Caracas for the City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance Inspector, presenting case number CE 21060691 for the property located at 643 North Andrews Avenue. Inspection of the property was performed on June 23rd of 2021 and found for the following violation. 18-1. There's graffiti on the exterior wall of this vacant property that is creating a public nuisance. It's being maintained in such a manner that the property is or it may adversely affect and impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. Your Honor, this is a recurring violation. This case will be presented towards you, Special Magistrate, as a recurring violation for CE 2010-0020, CE 190400474, CE 181022278, CE 170319226, CE 170202993, whether or not it comes into compliance before the hearing. Notice was mailed to the property owner listed on BCPA First Class on June 24th, 2021, allowing 10 days to come into compliance. Contact has been made with the property owner. Special master hearing notice mailed to the property owner on July 21st, 2021. Pre-hearing inspection was done on September 9th, and pictures from it here were taken to confirm the violation is in compliance. This is just a finding of fact today, sir.
All right, okay, I make a finding of fact that the violation did exist.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On page 14, case number CE 21040402 has been rescheduled. Our next case is on page 15. Inspector Lois Tarotsky, Supervisor Julio Davila presenting case number CE 2105-0392, case address 1044 Northwest 2nd Avenue, owner Cure Properties LLC. Property posted 8/17/21, posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Julio Davila, Code Compliance Supervisor, City of Fort Lauderdale, on behalf of Code Compliance Officer Lois Tarotsky, presenting the aforementioned case and corresponding property. This property was initially inspected by Inspector Tarotsky on May 13th, 2021, and the following violations were observed. 18-12A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and/or its swale. 9-280B, there are building parts which are deteriorated and not maintained. There is a piece of wood structure that is missing as well as a missing pane in the window. 9-306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts, including fascia and soffits, are in disrepair. There are areas of the exterior that have stains and missing peeling paint. 9-304B, there are vehicles, trailers parked on the grass lawn area, such as a Honda Accord. 9-304B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. And 9-305A, there's overgrowth of landscape material along with an accumulation of leaves encroaching upon the public right-of-way. Subsequent inspections were conducted, including a pre-hearing inspection on September 9th, 2021 by Inspector Tarotsky, and all of the violations remained as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 10 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
10 days and $25?
10 days to comply or $25 per day thereafter.
10 days, $25. 25. $25 in 10 days.
10 days on each.
Yes.
Okay, I find that each violation does exist. 10 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter on each.
Our next case on page 16. Supervisor Julio Davila, case number CE 2105-0771, case address 561 Northwest 17th Place, number 1 through 2. Owner Rosa Nate Beneventi. Property posted 8/18/21, posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Julio Davila, Code Compliance Supervisor for the City of Fort Lauderdale, on behalf of Code Compliance Officer Lois Tarotsky, presenting the aforementioned case and corresponding property. This property was initially inspected by Inspector Tarotsky on May 25th, 2021, and the following violations were observed. 9-280H, subsection H1, the fence at this property is in disrepair and is not being maintained as required on both sides of the property. 18-4C, there is a derelict vehicle or trailer on the swale or on the property. 18-1, there are household appliances on the side of the property exposed to the elements. And 18-12, subsection A, there is overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and/or its swale. Subsequent inspections were conducted, including a pre-hearing inspection on September 9th, 2021 by Inspector Tarotsky, and all of the violations remained as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 10 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
All right, I find that each violation exists and the relief requested by the city is granted.
Our next case is on page 17. Supervisor Julio Davila, case number CE 2105-0835, case address 1034 Northwest 8th Avenue, numbers 1 and 2. Owner Sick Tier Court, property posted 8/16/21, posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Julio Davila, Code Compliance Supervisor for the City of Fort Lauderdale, on behalf of Code Compliance Officer Lois Tarotsky, presenting the aforementioned case and corresponding property. This property was initially inspected by Inspector Tarotsky on May 26, 2021, and the following violations were observed. 18-12, subsection A, there's overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and/or its swale. 9-304, subsection B, there are potholes and missing gravel on the driveway. 9-313A, the property is not identified by approved address numbers. And 24-27 subsection B. There are waste containers which are not being stored correctly after pickup. The containers are being stored without screening and in front of the building line that faces the street. Subsequent inspections were conducted, including a pre-hearing inspection on September 9th, 2021 by Inspector Tarotsky, and all of the violations remain as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 10 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
Find that each violation does exist, 10 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Our next case on page 17, Supervisor Julio Davila, case number CE 21060275, case address 1712 Northwest 8th Place, numbers 1 and 2. Owner Goran Dragoslavic, property posted 8/18/21, posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
Julio Davila, Code Compliance Supervisor for the City of Fort Lauderdale, on behalf of Code Compliance Officer Lois Tarotsky, presenting the aforementioned case and corresponding property. The property was initially inspected by Inspector Tarotsky on June 10th, 2021, and the following violations were observed. 18-12 subsection A, there is overgrowth, trash, rubbish, and debris on this property and or its swale. 9-306, the exterior building walls have not been maintained. Structural parts, including fascia and soffits, are in disrepair. There are areas of the exterior that have stains and missing peeling paint. 9-304, subsection B, complied. Subsequent inspections were conducted, including a pre-hearing inspection on September 7th, 2021 by Inspector Tarotsky, and all of the violations all of the following violations remain: 8-12 subsection A and 9-306 as depicted in the photos. The city is requesting 10 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day per violation thereafter.
How many days?
10 days.
20?
10.
10 days, okay. All right, I find that the two remaining violations do exist. 10 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Our next case is on page 20. Inspector Pat Gavin, case number CE 210-40792, case address 1172 Arizona Avenue. Owner Luke and Nicole Whiteman. Personal service was given to this property on 8/11/21 and posted at City Hall on 8/31/21.
Pat Gavin, City of Fort Lauderdale Code Compliance, presenting case CE 210-40792 for property located at 1172 Arizona Avenue. This property was first inspected on April 27, 2021, and given 14 days to correct the following violations. 18-1, there is outdoor storage under the porch at this property that consists of, but is not limited to, indoor furniture that is creating a public nuisance. It is being maintained in such a manner that the property is or may reasonably become infested or inhabited by rodents, vermin, or wild animals, or may furnish a breeding place for mosquitoes, or threatens or endangers the public health, safety, or welfare, or may adversely affect and impair the economic welfare of adjacent properties. 9-305B, the landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 9-304B has been complied. This case was initially inspected by Officer Garcia, who noted the violations. The case was turned over to Inspector Holder, who made contact with the tenant on May 12th. The tenant claimed no report was posted, so the inspector extended the compliance date by another 14 days. The property has been re-inspected and the violations remain. The city is requesting compliance within 21 days or a fine of $25 per violation per day thereafter.
I find that the violations do exist. 21 days to comply, $25 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our next case is on page 23. Senior Inspector Manny Garcia, case number CE 210-70792, case address 2466 Southwest 7th Street, owner FYR SFR Borrower LLC, in care of Havenbrook Homes, property posted 8/25/21, posted at City Hall 8/31/21.
can use right here. If you'd like.
Your Honor, for the record, Senior Officer Garcia presenting case CE 21070792. Reference the property 2466 Southwest 7th Street. This property was initially cited on July 20th, 2021 for the following violations. 9-305B. The landscape at this property is not being maintained in a neat and well-kept appearance. There are areas of dead and missing ground cover. 9-304B. There are vehicles parked and stored on the grass lawn area. The other two violations have been withdrawn. A reinspection was made on September 12, 2021, of which the subject violations remain on the property as per the photos depict. Due to the findings, city is requesting 42 days for compliance or a fine of $50 per day per violation thereafter.
I'm sorry, time to comply is
42. 42.
42. Okay. So I find that each violation does exist. 42 days to comply, $50 per day thereafter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And now we will call the cases with hearings to impose fines on page 25. Case number CE 21030063, case address 3719 Southwest 13th Court, owner Benhead Investments LLC. Case first heard 5/27/21 to comply by 6/24/21, one section not complied at $50 per day. $4,050 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
City's request is granted.
Page 26, case number CE 21020297, case address 3633 Southwest 12th Court, owner Black D Properties LLC. This case was first heard on 5/27/21 to comply by 6/6/21. Two sections complied at $50 per day, $8,100 accrued, and the city is requesting full amount.
City's request is granted.
Our next case is on page 27. Case number CE 21050734, case address 349 East Dayton Circle. Owner, Honor Empire Inc. This property was cited on 5/22/21 to comply by 5/25/21. One section complied at $250 per day. $250 accrued. The city is requesting full amount. The appeal deadline was 6/5/21 and no appeal was received.
The city's request is granted.
Our next case on page 28, case number CE 21080141, case address 711 Northwest 4th Avenue, numbers 1 through 3. Owner Real Estate Services and Management Inc. in care of Brian Friedman. This property was cited on 8/4/21 to comply by 8/4/21. One section complied at $250 per day. $250 accrued. The city is requesting full amount. No appeal was received for this citation.
The city's request is granted.
On page 28, case number CE 21070376, case address 200 Southeast 10th Terrace, owner Billy Rumsey. This property was cited on 7/29/21 to comply by 7/29/21. One section not complied at $250 per day. $11,500 accrued. The city is requesting full amount, and fines continue to accrue, and no appeal was received for this deadline.
The city's request is granted.
Our next case is on page 29. Oh, sorry. Our next case is on page 33. Case number CE 21070564, case address 241 South Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard. Owner Brooklyn 46 LLC in care of Joyner Management Company. This property was cited on 7/15/21 to comply by 7/15/21. One section complied at $500 per day. $500 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and no appeal was received for this citation.
The city's request is granted.
On page 34, case number CE 20110391 has been rescheduled. On page 34, case number CE 21030770, case address 2230 Northwest 31st Avenue, owner W.F. Washington Sr. This case was first heard on 6/8/21 to comply by 8/17/21. Three sections not complied at $100 per day. $8,100 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The city's request is granted.
Our next case is on page 37. Case number CE 21010-826, case address 1531 Southwest 18th Terrace. Owners Ann Curtin and Don Ascione. This case was first heard on 6/8/21 to comply by 7/6/21. One section not complied at $100 per day, $6,900 accrued. The city is requesting full amount and fines continue to accrue.
The city's request is granted.
On page 38, although it says rescheduled, case number CE 2107019 is closed with no fines. The city is requesting to enter pages 40 and 41 into today's hearing as an exhibit. It is the city's list of complied, closed, withdrawn, and rescheduled cases.
Granted.
This concludes the special magistrate hearing for September 14th, 2021.
You guys have a great day.
You too, Rhonda. Thank you.